Did it change? It's definitely not the right size. The heck? I guess we'll just have to fix that now, won't we? Yeah. Just in case people couldn't see it before. You can definitely see it now. Gotta get the whole album cover. The whole of it. Boom. There's that. It's a side ovary. That side's Gucci. Just big chunkin'. By the way, I still haven't figured out the preview thing. That's been eluding me for quite some time. Because there is a way for me to do all of this editing stuff before showing it live. I did have it at one point. But then like things updated and everything's moved all over the place and I haven't been here. It's just a lot, you know? It's just a lot. But yes, I am back. I did not stream at all over the weekend because it took us like 4 days to get Sergio moved in. So, but now he has moved into his own place and is going to be having so much fun because he doesn't have to deal with us. I'm sure he's definitely not lonely. Definitely not. But with that, we can go ahead and jump into Zelda. And general, there we go. We're gonna cut the music. Cut the music. There you go. Thank you, thank you. And now we have game. We have game music. Question is, does it recognize my controller? It'd be most helpful if it did. It says it does. It says it recognizes my controller. There we go. Okay. Hold on. That's not the file. What? I literally just redid this. Hold on now. Don't do this to me, game. We had so many things. Oh, that is the file. That is the thing that I'm looking for. Let's reboot that, see if anything changes. Because I went through the whole process of getting the save file and like converting it and then transferring it. And that's not it. Now I have to do some checking. Lamau. These were all created today, supposedly. Well, fortunately, I kept everything else also saved. So, let's open up this. Open up this thing here. Not that. Will this let me... No, that's just completely borked. Alright. Wow, my entire library search functionality is just non-functional. That's crazy. Whoa. This might be really incredibly annoying. Really? I got everything working. You're gonna force me back to RetroArch? That's so rude. PC, how could you do this? Yeah, because RetroArch is only available inside my roaming file. And I can't get to my roaming. Well, actually, I might be able to get this roaming. Do 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 do. I can just type it in manually. Users. Then my user. And then app data. Hey, there it is. Alright, that explains why I wasn't able to find it, because it's under users, not program files. I know this is a bunch of just like technical computer file searching jumbo mumbo, but it's fine. Trust me, it's fine. So there's that. Where did I move this stuff? Definitely created things. Is it this? There's that. Am I looking for an SRA file? Because that looks like it. So there's that. What if I just end emulation real quick? Haha. And 924. What were these? 924 as well. I'm gonna go ahead and dump this in here and see what happens. Because it matches the same file format. So let's get rid of this. Oh, is it currently actively installed? Interesting. Okay, let's try that again. And then we're gonna copy and paste. And then of course open things up. Guys, it wouldn't be a stream if there wasn't technical difficulties. Don't you just miss it? Now you have to wait 30 seconds. Roaming file at percent. Yeah, the percent app data would take me there, but the problem is that my my internet, or not my Internet Explorer, my Windows library search function just isn't working. If anytime I try to open it up to type things, it just doesn't load. So whether I'm using the actual library or if I'm using the search bar at the bottom of my taskbar, it just isn't working right now for reasons unknown to me. Windows does that from time to time where it just decides that we're just gonna stop with this functionality, and I probably could just restart the library function of Windows. But then that's just more work. Okay, let's see if this works now. Does this have the file that I'm looking for? Otherwise, we'll just go back to RetroArch and I'll be sad, but it's whatever. Come on. Okay, it looks like I have to go back. I have to go back. There's not like a... No, there isn't. Alright, RetroArch, you win. You win. I honestly should just add them as separate sources. But also, welcome. It's Valorant. Or Valorun. I don't know how distinct you want the two syllables to be. Oh, I forgot this was how it manages it. Alright. We're gonna dump this. You're gonna see darkness for a bit. Good old-fashioned darkness. Alright. Let's give this a go. And then have to do separate screen adding thingamaboobers. It's fine. You can hear that music again. Window capture. I don't know why I was always so lazy and just didn't make RetroArch its own source. Like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so lazy? For the weirdest things. There we go. Get some of that. And Gucci that. I mean, honestly, who doesn't love this behind the scenes, setting up the stream stuff, you know? For anyone else who's looking into getting into streaming, I'm not the role model you should be looking for, but I can show you some of the things, albeit unintentionally, as to what goes on for stream-wise. There we go. That looks like it's sized well enough. Then I drag this all the way down. Make sure it's all neatly sorted out in here. There we go. Cool. All right, now we can begin for realsies. All right. I don't have Bolero Fire, so I have to... I guess I don't have to, like, run there manually, but... It is a shame that I do have to walk there. Up Death Mountain... Wait, do I have to go all the way? No. I can just open the shortcut. But, yeah. So, I do have a tracker for the current items I do have, as well as, like, the medallion goals. So, key things to remember about this particular randomization I have going on is that everything is randomized. All the freestanding items. Enemies are not randomized. I think that was part of the beta that they're currently working on at the moment. I will definitely switch that on in the future. But for now, no. So any of the freestanding items, so if there was like overworld rupees that just kind of like floated there, those are randomized. All pots have been randomized, all crates have been randomized. And so there's a lot. There's a lot to look for. And this is also glitched logic, so it requires some mobility things in order to reach certain locations. Potentially, anyways, potentially. But fortunately, I know most of the easier glitches that involve movement. So bomb hovering, hessing, things like that. Those I can do fairly, I don't want to say easily. I've been struggling a lot trying to remember the proper timing for things. But I can do them. So that is not a limitation by any means. And also, nice. Just carefully over the edge. Just... How does that not take it? There we go. And what else did I want to say about the seed? Oh, the finishing requirements in order to actually beat the seed requires us to get 4 medallions. So it's not like a mixture of stones and medallions. It's strictly 4 medallions. 4 medallions, and then I also need light arrows. Once I get those 5 things, I'll be able to complete the seed. You know, barring that I don't get soft locked by any checks, but most everything in this game can be resolved with bomb hovering, truth be told. It's just whether or not you can do it consistently enough and where it needs to be done. But you can more than likely find some sort of workaround for it. Brain is not braining. Oh. Oh, I just now realized very concerning information. No. No way. Hold on now. That's not good. That's not good at all. That's a lot of progress that is not there. Hold on, RetroArch. See, I made sure to specifically not touch any of the files that were already kind of built in there, to prevent any issues that I'm currently experiencing. But it would seem that I'm still missing files regardless. So let's copy this and see what RetroArch looks at for saves. So if we go back, yeah, I say we, but you guys can't see this because I'm doing this on my own. Let's go back to here, to here, scroll a roll a down. See, at first I thought maybe I'm just not seeing it and I'm just dumb. No, it's not there. So it gives me an SRM. So it saves everything in SRM format. This is SRA. So this should have been what goes to Project 64, but Project 64 didn't take it. Donzo! Are you still traveling? As always, don't forget your sippy sips. Got back yesterday? Hell yeah! Now, how would you rate your trip out of 10? That's the important question here. Only back for 2 months and then traveling again. Donzo, what the hell? Now, it's just like you have to get on another flight kind of trip, and you're going to a different. Well, I guess going to a different country means not as much compared to for someone who lives in Europe. Sweden and Finland next. More concerts or traveling? Just like normal, just like touristy traveling. I'm looking for SRA. No, SRM. SRM! So I have this. I have this. If I copy this. Meeting friends in Sweden, also going to a concert because it matched up perfectly. Nice. We love that. Okay, so I have this. Going to Finland, just say I've been to Finland. Gotta catch them all. Get a badge from each country. Alright, we're gonna do this. And then I need to organize this. So this is RetroArch. This is Project 64. And then this is the data that I'm transferring. This, copy, and this, delete. Heck it, I'm already behind. And we're gonna see if that changes anything, little mouse. I have to get a magnet from each country I go to. That's my family rule. Oh, okay, okay. I like it. I like it. Hmm. Is it possible that those were two different saves? Okay, let's see. Does this match up with what I have in the tracker? No. Now, follow-up question. What about that other save state that I opened up? This one's also returner. File cannot be loaded from playlist. Is it because this is from a different source? Interesting. Hmm. Oh no. Is everything borked and I need to find a plan B? Well, I guess at this point it's plan C. No. No. This was so I was so close to getting to literal go mode. Don't do this to me. There's really nothing I can do, huh? But yeah, Berlin 5 out of 10. Miyavi 12 out of 10 though. Prague 10 out of 10. Dresden 6.5 out of 10. Okay, okay. Making some mental notes about places to travel. I really would like to go traveling through Europe just because like there's a whole bunch of different countries that have vastly different cultures that you can just go and visit one right after the other. Prague was so cheap. Really? That's good to hear. I love cheap. I felt like I was committing robbery. I mean, just saying. If it's good, it's good. All right. Had some music on while I figure this out, Lamau. All right. Am I missing something here? Am I? Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and plop this back over here while I figure business out. There we go. You went to Hard Rock Cafe, main meal, dessert, 4 drinks, $37? Really? Dude, I swear, places like restaurants where you get drinks are astronomical. So for all of that to just be $37, that's insane. I expect $37 for the 4 drinks alone. That's a very great deal you got yourself there. Let's see. Timoteo. All right. Did I throw away any save files at any point in time? Let's see. Those were thrown out. No? Which this would tell me that the files would just did not save the last I played. Let me show you the room service I got in Prague just to see prices. Okay, okay. Just in the photo, this like $29 as room service, which is mind blowing. Nah, what's this? What's this? That was $29? Bro, room service would have been absolute hell in the US. That looks good though. That looks real good. Hell yeah. That's another thing. Like I just want to go travel and just eat. Just absolutely gorge myself. Eat like a fucking king as you deserve. How big is that? Oh sweet. Fits something else. There was one night I had to get a taxi back because I ate so much I couldn't. Now that's good eating. That's good eating. I mean, worst comes to worst, I go to backup plan and figure out more Godot things. Is that I mean technically it is Wednesday and it's like I want to learn, but also I want to finish up that ROM that I'm doing. But now with this happening, it's like shit. because everything was incredibly cheap. I just triple ordered triple. Oh, I mean, shoot. I mean, I guess that just comes to like a question of like, what's your like, what is your pay and what is that conversion to the local currency? Because like, if you could have the money of your country and then have the lifestyle in you know said country like Prague, be so good because you just live like you're living on like triple your normal salary. So good. That's the thing that I'm always like concerned about because like America is like one of the highest paying countries for software developers, but I would like to move to Japan. That said, Japan doesn't pay nearly as much. Sure, you get more like overall benefits just because of like the way taxes are handled, which U.S. taxes are terrible. And I don't say it's terrible as in like, oh, paying taxes suck. I'm saying that as in what they use our taxes for sucks. If you're in the right industry, it pays decently well. But even then, like even now, that's starting to like not be as true as it once was. So if you're in software and tech, pays pretty good. If you're in any other field that isn't doctor or medical or medicine, I got a job offer in Washington a few months ago, and the wage was 29K a year. Lol. Yeah, yeah. Like software at a minimum is 60K. I know that. And then being a teacher is god awful. Being a waiter, waitress, or host, don't. If you can help it, anyways, don't. Not to dissuade anyone from coming to America to like live, but if you're trying to find work, and even to like other Americans, if you're trying to find work, you know that there's definitely some jobs that in the long run are not worth trying to sustain yourself off of because shit here is not cheap. It's not what it used to be. I was not touching that shit with a stick, even if it's more than what I'm getting right now. But prices in Washington, exactly, because that's the thing. People, when they talk about, hold on, chill it with the jazz, chill it with the jazz. Yeah, I can actually just do this, Lamau. There we go. I'll just wait. You don't go to US. It's a trap. Yeah. So for anyone who's in the US or has plans to go to the US for work, you better make sure that uh you look into what salary your job is that you would be having in the US and the cost of living in the area. Even a holiday to the US, yeah. The US is really expensive. And even as someone who is considered like barely middle class, let's put it this perspective. Let's put it in perspective. In places like California, like 120K salary, that's considered low income in some places in California. That's fucking terrifying. Yeah, that's considered low income. In some parts of California, it's so expensive that 120K is considered low income. It's terrible. So that's why if you can find work that is remote, yeah, 120 a year, can't make rent. Yippee, yep. Exactly it. So if you can do remote work and you can find a job, obviously they'll probably do like location matching salary wages or whatever. But if they don't exactly look into it and they see like, oh hey, you're in California, so we'll raise your yearly salary to be this much, but you basically live for the living cost of someplace like in the Midwest where you can find like really dirt cheap living standards. And yeah, going back to another thing I was about to say, but got distracted by jazz. um, moving to another country with jobs. A lot of things that Americans will see is that when they go to find jobs of the same field in another country, they'll notice that the exchange rate would net them like maybe a couple thousands dollars less than what they're making. But when they typically look at just the hard number and not like the intrinsic benefits of being inside country, one of them being the way that the tax money is being handled and how you would have access to certain facilities of better quality than you would in the United States. So, if like health, dental, etc., is a concern. Um, for Americans, then going to other countries, a lot of that is already built into the like actual government system because the government in a lot of other countries works for you, the people. Dental Lamau. Okay, Donza, I see what you're getting at, but I'm general. It's like it'd be better, or at the very least, it has the potential to be better because it'd be more affordable. That's the thing, affordable. uh, um, yeah. So about this stuff, not really sure what to go about this. Oh wait, studio mode is over here, isn't it? It is. Hell yeah, Lamau's. Everyone in Europe goes to Turkey for dentals because it's so expensive everywhere. Dang. I mean, like it's not any cheaper in the US for that. But I mean, the number one thing is like health insurance, like that's huge. And a lot of people don't have health insurance. They just don't because it's too expensive to afford the premiums or for one reason or another, or the job doesn't offer it, or they're doing like, like a job that's a quote unquote transition job. So, dental is literally one of the only good things the US does. Yeah, but is it worth sacrificing everything else though? To be fair, if you do happen to have like some actual dental conditions that would impact your life, because dental isn't just teeth, the healthiness of your mouth and other like oral facilities does have an impact on your overall health. So, the teeth are always cleaner. I don't know about that. Man, it's sad that it's playing all this Zelda music and yet I don't have the save file for one reason or another. It looks like it's supposed to try and take. Okay, wait. What if I do this? Nope. Damn it. Take this. Delete this. Do that. And then I open up Project 64 again and see if I can get this to work. Instead of the grass, I don't know. I'm still recovering from like a week of not sleeping. Yeah, Hellworth, a lot of doctors would recommend that you do sleep, but I mean, I'm not a medical professional, and I'm sure you've already tried going to sleep. So like at that point, like what can I really offer you to help you in your time of need? What is sleep? All right, you degenerates. We're just trying to have a nice conversation about health. Actually, I don't know. Our conversation is just fucking. I'm a bit of a doomer. They said I'm handling my insomnia well. I mean, if you're an insomniac and you're able to get some sleep, that's a huge plus. But yeah, I mean, you can be in Prague stuffing your face, dude. I would love to do that. I would love to go to another country right now and just stuff my face. So good. The only The only the huge plus is Switzerland. Big mistake without Dr. Screw. Uh, all right, let's try this again. So like, if this doesn't work, then that just means my save file was just screwed from the get-go. Oh, yeah, my save file was just screwed from the get-go. There was no hope of salvaging that situation. That's crazy. Because let's just take a look here at the things that I'm missing between these save files. So I am missing Big Goron Sword. I am missing Hook Shot. I am missing Ice Arrows, which in this case does matter because it has a blue fire effect for the randomizer. I'm missing Epona's Song. So I don't even have cows. So God knows what else I'm missing. And let's see. Not to mention, I'm also just generally missing, like 5 hearts, 5 whole hearts. And then I don't even know how many keys I'd be missing at this point. And so basically I just have to play the game over from scratch in order to like actually verify that I have the things that I used to have, and that's not within the cards. Man. Man, that's crazy. Absolutely insane. I don't know how that could have happened because it would have been fine if I was missing like one of the last checks in the game before I like logged off. That would have been fine. But I'm missing literally hours of progression. It's like, where did it go? You're telling me that in the literal hours, I supposedly didn't save the game? Nah, that's an absolute lie. I was meticulous about saving because of how often the game was crashing. Absolutely meticulous. Alright. I guess we can look into some other things. So, let me go ahead and change stream on over. That's not the button I was looking for. Is it this one? Alright. We're gonna change this to randomizer exploded. Dude, I was actually really excited to do Fire Temple because one of the things about Fire Temple is that there's so many goddamn keys that you have to use in that temple. But in this randomizer, there's a thing known as the key ring, which gave you all the keys for a specific location. And I had that. And so I would have been able to just go through the entirety of Fire Temple. Literally all the checks, except maybe one because it maybe required long shot. But all the checks in Fire Temple could have been mine. Oh, that's so depresso espresso. Holy. All right, let's see. I'm curious. Does educate does learning is there a learning category? Learn to fly, learn Japanese to survive Hiragana battle. What is that? That sounds interesting. We're gonna go with just chatting. Lamel. I mean, I guess like maybe for the next stream, maybe I'll start like a Kaizo Ironmon or something. Just go straight into the deep end for Pokemon gaming content. A game I'd fail at is what that is. Oh, really? You don't think that you'd absolutely slay out at Hiragana battle? It's Hiragana though. I love how it instantaneously just like, oh wait, no, that's my preview. Oh, okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. I was expecting to be the other way around. Yo, number one Gambit vote, dude. The Gambas would be so absolutely terrible because the Iron Bond seems a lot more brutal, especially if I don't do the whole oh yeah, we get safety for this and that. Just so you can get a run started and have you more interesting instead of just being like first fight dies, first fight dies, first fight dies. Kaizo Ironmon is a slot machine. It's just infinite Gamba. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't need this tracker anymore because, jeez, that's depressing. I'm like, I'm sure you guys can tell, but I'm genuinely sad and like I may have a smile on my face, but this is just how I cope with depression. I just smile through it, grit and bear it. Ugh. All right, where is my main monitor? Hmm. What is this capturing? That's capturing that. Discard. Interesting. All right. Anywho, transition. I don't understand why the chat keeps like losing its cache, but I guess that is what it is. All right, so there's gonna be a lot of things that you guys aren't gonna be releasing. This is more so just for me, and so like if I start talking to myself, this is just like context for you guys. Oh yeah, I forgot. Didn't I need .NET 6 or something? Yeah, I think I need .NET 6. All right. Un momento while I go download that. Or I could just code in GD script and just say fuck it. We're here for some moral support at this point. Yeah, absolutely, and I need it because man, one thing didn't go my way. Who's to say that this will go any better? All right. To build apps, I mean, I'm a window user. And tell us about yourself. Never. I mean, sure, I could verify the install, or I could just install it and say, whatever. Yahaha. Watch this absolutely destroy everything. Oh, I guess I should probably turn on the. Or is it Spotify? Oh, Spotify got fucked. Lamau. Title. Oof, that does not look good, Lamau. And let's grab this. Lamau. Whee! Whoop, whoop. Oop, too far. Too far. Too far! I'll be honest, I don't really mind the whole trying to fix stream live on stream personally. It's just whether or not you guys care about it. Why is it moving so weirdly? Like it moves so far off to the right and just like slides for some reason. Like can't really determine. But like it's doing the thing I expect it to. But it's weird. Hold on. Yeah, capture it. And like I don't know. I don't know. Oh, did it actually install? It says it was successful. I'm gonna trust that it was. And scrolling uppers. I guess you should probably shrink this to do like the big changes. Oh yeah, that's definitely behaving weird. Interesting. Good old scuff. There we go. You guys won't really be able to see it all that well. But oh, I guess I can get rid of this portion of it too. Get a little neater. There we go. Oh, I have the controller still. I don't need this anymore. Lamau. But yeah, so the whole plan behind this is that I'm basically gonna try and develop games like I said I would since I was born. It's been a long time. And the thing, my problem is that I've always been doing it on again, off again. I've just never been like super consistent about it. And so that's why I have you guys here to hold me accountable, hold me hostage, and make sure I do the things that I say I'm gonna do. Of course, at the end of the day, it doesn't really stop me. And let's see, it still has project, change target. Target environment rendering. Nope. Hmm. What is it actually looking for? Because this doesn't say like it's wrong necessarily. Oh snap! Oh, I need core. I need core, not the SDK. Oh, the current SDK does not support targeting. .NET 6. Either target .NET 4. Oh, I have too high of a .NET. Lamau. Okay, I can fix that still. I can still fix that. No, it's re-downloading it. Stop. Stop polls. There we go. .NET 5, if you would. Like it's out of support. I know, it's out of support. Calm down. Okay. Get the installed. Fortunately, you can have multiple versions of the same .NET. It's just you just target whichever one you actually are actively going to be using. And you can do that on a project by project basis. So it's not like I have to like manually swap it over like you're changing a disk inside of a console or something. Fortunately, it's that simple. Because otherwise, if I had to freaking every single time, just like, okay, no, I gotta reinstall this. I gotta take this out. I gotta make sure I reinstall this. I'd go mad. Slowly inside. Hold on. The title is Crooked. And then title is, or the album is a little too big. There we go. Supposedly successfully installed. So now do I have support? Still not? Really? Hmm. I guess I just have to go and see what the project entity target. Da-da-da-da. Current .NET SDK does not support targeting 9.06.0. Either target 5.0 or lower, or use a version SDK that supports. Okay, well, let me see what. Application config. This is what I'm looking for. Nope. .NET. No. All right, Google. This is what you're gonna do for me. Haha. Does this have a JSON? Hold on, what if I... Oh, here we go. Show results with Godot. That's what I want. Because it'd be weird if they let me develop in C Sharp, but then don't actually give me the means to develop in C Sharp. Reason I want to develop in C Sharp specifically instead of using the Godot script that is native to the platform itself is because it gives me more control over what I can do in the program itself. And it's also the language that I'm using for my work. So I figured it's a way to just further bolster the things that I know. And maybe I'll learn some new things while I'm developing and I can apply it to my work and vice versa. So just kind of double dipping here. Let's see. Editor settings, then search build tool. Hey, that looks like a thing. It's like dot CLI from the drop down. Hmm. That didn't do it. But now there's more .NET things. Ah, external. Oh, so I can set external. So if I wanted to use Visual Studios or JetBrains or any of those, but I honestly just want to use like the built-in code editor because I think it'd just be simpler that way. Doesn't seem like it's gonna make things simpler for me here though. Hmm. And I believe I'm considered online here at this point, right? Because that was another thing where it was saying, oh, if you're, hold on, just straight up build the project. No, of course not. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, it's not gonna let me search. So it's just gonna show me just all the different node types. Yeah, it looks like it. Mm, 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 mm. .NET project. Is that with reload attempts? How's that in? Interesting. Why do these include .NET in the? Interesting. And for anyone who has this like romanticized idea about what it's like to develop, this is the reality of it. It's literally looking at something, seeing it doesn't work, wondering why it doesn't work, and then go to Google. You may think that I'm joking. I'm being 100% serious. As someone who's been a professional software developer for 4 years, I can confirm everyone does this. It is not hyperbole. I've been on, I guess, two different software teams. They both do it. So there's nothing wrong with that, especially like if you're someone who's going through school and you're like, "Oh man, I feel like I just don't know anything and I'm terrible because I can't just like think of the solution off the top of my head." The professionals don't really do that either. There's always something that we have to look up. And it's also weird to call myself a professional despite I'm literally by definition a professional. Ooh, can I do this? It says it can support 5, but it's using support 6. Is it because how to change Godot target.net. Target.net Godot. I love how I searched up the question and there was someone who posted it, and then the top response on it was, "Well, I don't know anything about what it is you're asking, so I can't really help you." And it's like, then why'd you bother typing? What are you here for? Mm-mm. I don't have a mono in this, do I? No. I will have to change my file structure here because it's kind of just really bare bones. But I mean, I guess for like just experimenting and whatnot, doesn't really matter at this point. I need to make sure to open this up over here. All right. Where's Godot? Godot. Godot Sharp. That's what I'm looking for. Tools. Like it has it. Like it has Godot and whatnot, but it's just not. Yeah, here. What if I try this? I'm just gonna move this here for the time being and see what happens. Doesn't know I'm online at all. It should, right? Yeah, because the asset library pulls up just fine. And I have to be able to connect to the internet in order to do that. Weird. Because otherwise, I just have to remove the script and just look at other things I could potentially do for the time being. Which, I mean, is fine. But... Oh, cancel. No, it just straight up just says no. Program files.net 5.0. I want to download 4.5 because apparently that's another number or another version that's supposedly acceptable. But that was like 5 years ago, so I figured that maybe, just maybe, it'd be fine. But looks like I was proven wrong. I want to see all the .NET versions if you would be so kind. Interesting. .NET 4 isn't here. .NET 5 is. Yeah, it's specifically in the SDK, so I'm gonna grab one of these. Okay, we're gonna get just base level 5.0, and they're gonna tell me that it doesn't work. I'm gonna be upsetty spaghetti. Oh, my screen just goes dark whenever I have to like give permissions. That's interesting. I'm also curious if it automatically updates the dependency to find a proper one, because otherwise. Because this is just saying on line 1, column 5, where it runs this particular function, it caused an error in this particular framework where, hey, apparently this doesn't match. I keep looking at that. So the difference, so what I'm doing here is this button, this play button, will play the entire project, whereas this button here will only play the scene. And so what you see in front of you is a scene. If I had, like level 2, level 3, level 4, the game would compile everything and get that ready to be available to be played. But I don't have any other levels, and I don't want to set level 1 necessarily as like the default. Ideally, there would be like, here's a start screen, and then from there, that would be the scene that you run. But it does this, so it's still using the 5.0.3. I think is at some point it has to be choosing Well, it generated a new mono, so I guess I can just delete these. Obviously, probably a better way to go about it, but I'm just curious at this point. I want to see if the mono is purely what's defining the uh the target. Because if I could just directly tell it which one to use, I'd much prefer to do that. But apparently, that's just not a thing you do. And it's still using the 5.0.3, so. And that tells me where it is, so I guess I can just go find it and remove it since I have literally all these other versions. And surely it wouldn't continue looking in a file that doesn't exist, right? It wouldn't do that. That might be why. Hold on. That might be why. Okay. Well, now I need to go find where these other .NETs have been installing. Because apparently it hasn't been installing in the SDK file at all. And I don't have any other .NET files, so it's like, where have you been going? In here, maybe? Aha, I see you. So they've just been installing in different program files. Oh, I know why. Lamau. Okay, here. I have an idea. What if I just go with this version instead? Yeah, that matches what I'm looking for. Question is, will it now look at that? Nope, still looking at the other one, so do another close, get rid of that mono that is supposedly in charge of the .NET. Am I in the right thing? Godot. I'm looking for G's. All right. Worst come to worst, I also just uninstalled the 5.0.3 and see if that changes anything. Because it says like, oh, you need 5 or lower .NET. It's like I'm literally using 5. Still looking for that one. Actually, I have an idea now. I'm having so many ideas. Just one of them needs to be actually useful. Okay, we're gonna download this one, and we're also just going to go ahead and just delete, not this one. You have my administrative approval. Unless for some weird reason that 5.0.3 is a designated target and it generates that as part of the built-in Godot, that'd be really fucking weird. But I'm sure that's not the case, right? Surely they would have something better to do with that. I definitely need to make nuggies later. Come on, you can download. And I think I actually have to run the uninstaller though for the right. I don't have access to any of my settings, bro. Why does Windows have to be so freaking disastrous at times? Hey, nice. All right. It is still using that same .NET. Let me see if getting rid of that .NET changes anything. Because it should. All right. It's deleted. It has literally no other .NET to go to aside from the one that's literally the remaining .NET in that folder. So if this doesn't work, I'm going to be really annoyed and just think that the world is out to get me. Hey, look at that. Neat. Now, obviously, there isn't really anything here, but if this... There we go. Oh, right, because... Well, no, even... Oh, because this is a... I'll look over here. Yeah, because it's not a physics body. If it was a physics body, it would be able to actually apply um basically force to this object when I run into it. Because at the start, it does fall to the ground. But after that, no other you need some other physics calculation in order to determine how else is it going to interact. So, actually, to experiment with that, let's go back over here. Actually, no. Can I open see the children? There is something that lets me see the sub node, the child node for this. Span class branch? Nope. Instantiate child scene? Nope. What else we got here? Edible children. Don't be confused with edible children. That's not. That's not what's happening here. All right. So it was a closing shape 3D. I wanted to add. So rigid body has physics applied to it. Could I just apply? Yeah, could I just do this? And then set this to be because what in block we have. Wait, no, collision body. Transform, visibility, process. Interesting. Is it this? Geometry. So that's no 3D property, visual instance property. Oh. Oh. Okay, I see. Hello, Japan man. Hello, X-Man lifts. Howdy, howdy. As you can see, it's just another day in not Japan. But yeah, I'm basically just looking through this, and just kind of trying to familiarize myself a bit more with Godot. And I realized that each of these subsections for, say, the message instance, we go here, Node 3D, then visual instance 3D, geometry instance 3D, and then finally the actual mesh ID, the mesh instance. I've just been optimizing further since, ran into some small issues I need to fix. Line rendering in Direct 3D was so goddamn annoying. Sounds like it. I don't know. I haven't really messed with rendering all that much myself personally, because I don't really haven't done a whole lot of like personal projects where that would be required. I don't like it. Well, I mean, if you're trying to accomplish your goals and that stands in your way, sure you could find a workaround, but I mean, it's the only part of my project I hate. Now, hate's a strong word. Just need to figure out the way around it. Delete that node. Oh yeah, because this also fell to the ground, didn't it? It did. But it isn't able to apply any friction to it. Interesting. All right, let's take a look at the actual script. So this is just pre-generated, using obviously the Godot library. Actually, does anything? Out of curiosity, does do I see any? No. Online docs? What is this? Actually, documentation. Interesting. I guess that's not terrible. Well, actually, I guess I can show you guys what I'm looking at. This pops up. That has to be done like my homework. It's super efficient so far, though. I think I dislike 2D more than 3D, mostly because at least 3D I can use pre-made models and not have to generate the models at runtime, and because 3D was not made for 2D. Fair. But the other issue is my library is a lot more efficient than Direct 2D. And it's just kind of where you have to figure out your cost of performance, as it were. So I guess like in this case, if I wanted to see what other things does character body 3D have that I could potentially. There we go. That was weird. Character body 3D. Searching up actor as. There we go. And we have an actual document. Tutorial shows me all the different properties. Oh. Yep. Vector velocity. Velocity. Interesting. I don't know. Depending on how developing in the built-in editor goes, I might just go ahead and use an external editor for Visual Studios. That way, I can more easily reference the specific of, oh, I see Vector 3D. Well, I want to see the actual documentation behind that. And instead of pulling up the document, it'll just take me to the actual CS file for Vector 3, or if I wanted to see like this particular function for get setting, it would also bring me to that as well. I got pretty far with Direct 2D before I found out it wasn't quite as fast enough on my laptop. Well, you just need a bigger, better machine to overcome all the performance issues. Let's see. If it is on floor, minus gravity, such and such, handle jump. If uh jump action is pressed, UI accept, and is on floor, equals jump velocity, which is that. Speed is that. And then UI left, UI right. Oh, is space considered accept? Interesting. I guess what these inputs would be interesting. Would be nice to know. a get vector of these particular buttons. And so I guess in this case, I'd also be able to. Now, does it offer me suggestions? That's UI. User input, I'm guessing. So user input, W. User input, A. User input, S. And can you guys guess what the last one will be? That's right. User input, D. And let's see if that works out the way I intended to, because otherwise if it doesn't. Because input direction. I guess it'd be plus or minus, and then it's a vector too. So those are probably mapped accordingly. So before I was only able to move using the arrow keys explicitly. Oh, does it not have? Oh, okay. So it doesn't like it because it can only accept 4. So if I just undo this. Wrong button again. Oh, I hate this. Nope. And the debugger went nuts. Let's see. Does not exist. Does not exist. Did I mean up and down? Interesting. Like, yeah, I get those exist. Yeah, my desktop is fast enough, but not my 6-year-old laptop with integrated graphics that can be found around $250 laptops. But I've gotten far enough with my new system to not give up, so I am finishing what I started. Yeah. And again, that was just like a complete meme thing I was saying. So I'm curious as to where these definitions are. If they have built-in keystrokes or whatnot. Let's see. UI left. See what comes up. Using input events. What are the keys for this? Is there a list? Input examples. Keyboard events. I want this. Global scope key. Is this what I'm looking for? Ah. See, what about the letters then? So I guess I could do this, but I think the issue would be that this being the key press, it probably doesn't do vectors. It might not. We'll see. Plus comma and then okay. So it is just key. And it doesn't tell me the input methods. So let's just try putting in key A. Key dot. Oh, and it doesn't have any autocomplete or anything. I guess that would be a bit much for them to do like that smart of a developer editor for their program. Yeah. Well, I mean, at the very least, I'm slowly figuring out, like, yeah, I probably would just want to. I'm just gonna move this off the screen here. I'd probably just want to go ahead and use. Yeah, because this would just return 1, presumably, if it realizes that it is pressed. Yeah, it probably would. I'm gonna say. My laptop will easily handle whatever I throw at it. Assuming the system is like so many times faster than Direct 2D, both initial speed and scales better off of batch rendering. I'm going to do 3D later, but only for one thing, for displaying the Pokemon maps. But I need to learn their format. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. So here, input deer dot x. Oh, so it does have x and y coordinates, and that's based on the positioning of the. Oh, okay. So then in that case, when looking at this, left, right, so this would be the x, then y would be up and down. And so I'm guessing it's as good practice, you should replace UI actions with custom gameplay actions. Hmm. Actually, yeah, let's just change this. So left would be key A. And see if that registers. And if not, then yeah, because one thing I want to do is test one small thing at a time rather than just going balls deep and destroying everything. Okay. So clearly that didn't work. Why are those like the past search results? Offensive guard from Monster Hunter. I've been on Monster Hunter in a hot minute. And a lot of DLC has come out for it too. What do I need here? Phantom, phantom. Tomorrow I'll make a function, draw columns and rows, and I have to learn how to adjust the inaccuracy of Direct 3D to line rendering in 2D because I can reuse it for many things in the future. For both tabs, data grid, spreadsheets, there's a lot of things columns and rows could be used for. Oh, absolutely. Oh, is that a project settings thing for the input? Makes sense. We go here, input map. Oh. So I could create my own input mapping, huh? So if I create my new action, I just call it left, right. 0.5 dead zone? I also need to make a function called small alloc. I am excited for that one. Small alloc will be amazing. Show the built-in action buttons. Aha! These are the things I was looking for. Why would that be off by default? I would assume it's for allocating something of some kind. As for what small is intended to be, I'm not entirely sure. Hmm. Small memory allocation. Oh. Oh, so I create the action. And then it tells me. Oh, so then rather than creating those, it'd be better to just add on to what I currently have. Wait. Yeah, no, it doesn't. give me like an easier way to like define those. Okay. Joypad left, joy key access. But what if instead I wanted to add a key input? There you go. Physical A. Okay, my caps lock is not on. Malloc has minimum size allocation on my target hardware. I could also call it small malloc. That's probably easier. Small m alloc. Okay. So just adding input here will also give me the desired effect of being able to use the WASD for movement. And so this should actually just be that. I keep clicking on the play button, not the play button, the scene button. Okay. There we go. Yep, that works just fine. Obviously, there's like a lot of things here that are bad. But it has to be bad in order to get good. Literally. Yeah, if anyone ever tells you that you're bad at video games, you gotta tell them, I gotta be bad first in order to get good. Tell them Uncle Tadashi Pasu said that. He's a wise man. I don't want to allocate 4,096 bytes if I'm requesting 8 bytes or even 200 bytes. I mean, what's wrong with all that overhead? Right? I mean, come on. What do you use all that processing power for, anyways? If not this one very specific thing. Okay. So, and all of these have to be hard coded from the get go. They don't have velocity, growth, float, delta. And delta is taken from the physics processor, which is just the time the machine runs. It's not exactly the same as frame rate. It's like on tick based. What's wrong with it is my laptop barely has any RAM. Well, that's free. Let's see. If it's not on the floor, it keeps giving me gravity, handles jump, gets directional input, and it transforms. Oh, and it normalizes, so going diagonal does not let me go faster. And then this multiplies by speed, and then otherwise, if it is 0, it moves towards 0 speed. Which makes sense. Velocity x. And then we set velocity. Okay. So velocity is the current active velocity, because there's no other mention of it. And then down here, we set the y velocity equal to jump velocity instead. Oh, okay, we defined it up here. That explains that. It was weird because we just had this. So this is a proper function. This is one that we customly made, which it being labeled like this is kind of annoying. I guess it's because it's a constant that they label it like that. Okay. And then mathf move towards 0 using the speed that we define up there. From whatever my velocity is, bring it closer to 0. Whatever my z is, bring it closer to 0. This is the speed at which it drags. Which, out of curiosity, I just want to see what happens if I increase the rate at which it decelerates. Does it hard stop, or does it make it more lengthy? Okay. Now, if my assumption is correct, this should make it feel more like ice physics. Ah, it failed to build because you can't multiply by some thing. Is that it? The error logging is not that great. Gotta be honest. Can completely invert double. Okay, fine. So it's not smart enough to try and convert it to an acceptable format. Okay. Well, this can still convert to a double. Nope, just a float. Nope, not noticing anything. Tenth of the speed instead of half. I figured that speed was supposed to be the rate at which it decelerates, but maybe not. Oh, there we go. There was a little bit slide. I had to be more extreme with it. I guess makes sense, because otherwise going from 5 to 0.5 would still mean that after 5 or after 10 ticks, I would come to a complete stop. This mean 100 ticks, and if I get only so many ticks a second, it takes so many seconds in order to actually slow to a stop. So this, whee! And thus we've created ice physics just by slowing our deceleration. Or increasing our deceleration? I don't know how you would phrase that. Oop. How my small malloc will work is that just one big malloc. It's so-called memory pool. And then every time I am calling a small malloc, I'm just requesting memory from that pool without needing to request another 4096 bytes. I only found out the limit on my benchmark test when I allocated 4 million buttons and ran out of RAM. Yeah, that does seem to be a bit on the extreme side. Now, these guys should be able to collide with each other, so unless my buttons are only 200 bytes each, which would only be zero 0.8 gigs. That is pretty small. Comparatively, anyways. So then, and I guess I should go with this. There's that, and then the floor itself only has mesh and collision, so literally nothing new that we have here. Is it the mesh? Is the mesh instance the one that has the gravity? Doesn't have a skeleton. I would assume it would have been the collision shape. Yeah, I want it to be visible, and I want it to have this transform. Is it on the block itself? Oh, the block itself is the rigid body. And the rigid body just didn't have. Okay. So the rigid body basically just says, hey, I am an object that can interact with physics. But that doesn't tell the actual engine anything else. And so that's why I still have to define what object is having that physics being applied to and give it a visual form, which is the mesh instance, and then give it the actual collision form of to where are the boundaries of this object. That makes sense. So that would be why this has physics to fall. But then what about the player? The player is a character body. And it's on the same collision layer. And on leave at 4. Stop on slopes, constant speed, block, angle. No, everything seems to be fine. Oh, and we can see that it does have a physics body 3D already attached to the object. So you would expect that this rigid body and this physics body would be able to interact with one another, but apparently it doesn't. That's how I found out that the malloc has a minimum allocation size. Either entire Windows malfunction. But yes, my performance tests are on the extreme side. I'm trying to make a game that runs pretty decently, even when pushing to the extremes. Hmm. Let's see here. So looking over this, I just want to bump the cube around, but I don't think I have anything that would allow that, or at least not by just nodes by default. What other things can I add? So we have animation players and things like that, but I don't necessarily need those. What is this? I know you use to rotate all bones of the 3D skeleton 3D bone chain, a way that places the end bone in the desired 3D position. Oh. And it has not freaking X around it because I don't have a bone to. Wait, the mark is deprecated? Interesting that it would still be here. Honestly, if it is deprecated and the project is created fresh, it should just not include that as an option. Honestly speaking. World environment. Fault environment properties for the entire scene, post processing effects, lighting, background settings. Oh. So I guess like I would have something. I guess I wouldn't be able to. I wonder how that would work. So what I'm thinking of is how this would work in like a grand scheme of things, kind of like high level idea. Because here we have this scene, which is everything we have here, and this is what controls. Um, this here contains everything, like all the like the level obstacles. So like if there were coins, if there were um lighting effects or anything like that, that's all contained within here. But if you play video games, you know that there are times when there is loading screens, and there are times when the games need to process certain things. And typically that would be handled with some sort of game manager. So something that exists outside of the scene, in this case, or outside of level 1 that keeps track of all that extraneous data and would allow you to have some form of persistence between the levels. So I'm wondering if it would have to be a case of loading in, say, like another node 3D, like at the base, right? Oh, can I not? Oh, so I can't have more than one base. So that makes it even more confusing. It's like what I would need to do in this case. Because my thought process is if I have a game manager and it cannot be its own. Well, I guess if I had created a game manager as its base. So say for example here, I just go ahead and create this. Just have game manager, right? With this being the case, and I would need to save this, I would be able to load an instance of level 1 to where I have this game manager that exists on the higher level to where it can interact with everything that is within level 1. And then when level 1 is completed or it's done, it can then unload level 1 from its scene, and any changes that were important, so like if the character saved or if there's certain collectibles that are now gone because it's in the player's inventory or the player inventory in general. If it's like a single player game, it'd probably be easiest to have that locked away in the game manager. Um, they can then unload the level 1 scene and then load in the level 2 scene, presumably. I'd imagine that would work unless there was a way to explicitly update the base instance of an of one of these scenes, which I think would be very problematic, truthfully speaking. But I guess in this case, when there would need to be some function attached to the game manager where it says if it loads a new scene and it has a player object into it, it would then look to see, okay, now that we've loaded it and we see that there's a player, load the player object with the player's previous set of data. So what their levels were, what items they had, things like that is how I would imagine that the workflow would be. And then it would just interchange. And then in this case, one earlier I was talking about how I don't want to press this button because that will load the entirety of the project. Um, I want it to load the entirety of the project, but it's going to start on the game manager. The game manager will present the um, the start screen, which would be like the starting scene, and then once you select, oh, you want to continue, or oh, you want to load, or you want to start a new game, it would then um, load those specific scenes into as a child of the game manager. I think that would be the best way. And then if I wanted to test like the individual levels rather than the game as a whole, I would just like I have been doing, going here, pressing that clapboard, and then just messing around. Another thing I could do is turn that off. Then on the player object, actually add a camera 3D. That's really heckin' close, Lamau. Okay, so I've hit Control S. That will change this over here to where now player has a camera 3D because I changed the base instance of this. So now if I play, there should be a camera attached to the player and maybe it'll move with the same. Oh. Oh, Lamau, I'm playing this. But the camera was working because it actually showed the cube. Now if I play this, this should supposedly... Oh, it's still using the camera, that camera, even though it's shut. Interesting. So what if I just go ahead and get rid of this camera? I just want to see if this works. Just attaching a simple camera to... Yep. It moves with the player. Very simply. Because this attach as part of the object. And then I would have to add in a different, I would actually have to make a code change to where the camera is looking for, so in here, and I would add like camera 3D script, something like that. And then in here, I would have to define when the mouse moves to swing the camera in, or to rotate the camera in some direction in response to that, and then have that operate um, on the delta time in order to get the third person camera like perspective to where you can get the mouse move in every which way. Additionally, I now obviously a lot of this stuff is not revolutionary and it has been done before. If I wanted to, I could just go in here and grab whatever assets I need in order to push the game forward. That'll be something I would do more so when I have a more concrete understanding of how I can use Godot and what I want to do with it in terms like of a first project. Like obviously you might have seen the title of this whole project is survival RPG. As a game that I would like to make, it's probably not going to be what this turns out to be. But um yeah, no. Getting more familiar and just understanding like how all the things work together. Because then if I were to, for example, take the XR camera, it would be a type of camera 3D, which is a type of 3D node, so on and so forth. And so I would know that at its base, it's inheriting from all these different classes effectively, is the way that's structured. Which is good. It's good to know that. So that way, if I pull from everything, I have a better idea of what a certain object or a certain node has access to, and I'll be able to manipulate that in code in order to better suit whatever needs I have for that particular moment. And one thing that I do like, um, in comparison to Godot and Unity, Unity's really the only other engine I had like any bit of experience with. Unity did Unity things. Um, the inheritance system, because typically in Unity you'd have an inheritance from monodevelop, and it didn't necessarily limit or force you to develop in a certain way, but inheriting from monodevelop gave you the accessibility to present some of these values as part of the inspector over here. So if I were to click on mesh instance, it pulls up the properties of that. But for example, if in Unity, if I were to have done um, something that inherited from the mono behavior class, and then put serialize on these two variables here, it would then show up in the inspector to where I could then um, adjust the values live while actively playing the game, which is great for like fine tuning things, which is kind of crazy considering that you're able to do that. But then you see a lot of like Unity made games on like Steam that quite frankly play like shit. And again, like I haven't published a game, so maybe it's not fair for me to say it. But if a game's shit, the game's shit. And I expect to make a ton of shitty games before I make one game that's actually worth like the 2 hours that you spend playing it. That is my expectations. Keeping it low, keeping it realistic, and if it does better, then I'm pleasantly surprised. But yeah, that is the gist. There would also have to be like, Got to make sure that camera doesn't go out of bounds if it comes in collision with other things, which means it would need the camera itself would need some other collision detection. So here we'd have probably just general collision detection. And that's an important thing to make remember is that uh this is just checking what boundaries are there. And it's like, hey, you're missing a few things. And like, please use it as a child of these various bodies. I guess, would it be considered a static body 3D or rigid body? Well, it just basically needs some body. But yeah, I think that's kind of a good playing around sesh considering the depression. Oh, the depression, because I need to make nuggies. Need to make nuggies. I want to make nuggies. I don't need to make anything. But that is fine and dandy for now. And I guess on Saturday, oh, it's already the 4th. Uh, yeah. Saturday, I should be able to start. I think I want to try the Kaizo Iron mod. I'll look into it. I'll see what game. Maybe I'll do a poll of some kind just to gauge like which one should I do. I should probably start with the easiest Kaizo Iron mod. Might be a good idea. I'll lean to that. But this is where I'm gonna call it for the day. Oh man, I am so upset about that Zelda though. I, I'm just gonna not think about it. I'm gonna not think about it and eat nuggies. That's all I need to do. Save and close. Everything just save and close. Okay. Now, let's just go ahead and see who's live and who could I give a raid to. Let's see. I don't want to raid that because of spoilers for me personally. I'm pretty sure last time I raided Larxa. Oh, she streamed for 9 hours. She's definitely ending. Lamau. I don't know. Who do I raid? If anyone, really. You know what? Let's see who's in Pokemon categories. Pokemon. Does anyone in chat perhaps have someone that they would like to have a raid given to? Because I'm certainly open to suggestions. You know, as long as they're not like a complete arsehole. You know, things like that. Oath to order. You know, I'm surprised that there isn't like a who to raid type of like finder on Twitch. Just like here's a list of people who stream similar games to you, who also use similar tags as you. And like whose viewer base views similar content cuz all that data is out there and available. And so like I don't know, I guess that's probably because it's more like community oriented and so like Twitch wouldn't do something like that and just be up to the actual Twitch users to do themselves. I don't know, that might be an interesting project to do. Although I don't know how much of that information is publicly available. That I don't know. I just know Twitch absolutely collects that information just because it's seen on my dashboard, so Oh boy. Bunny Girl, Big Booba. Totally should raid. Bro, what is. Dude, some of these VTubers are just. Good God. I am absolutely out of here. Alright. How do I look for games on Twitch again? I actually genuinely don't know. Let's search Pokemon just see what happens. Pokemon. Uh-oh, Larksa died. Every trainer has a choice. Do 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 do. Battles may be long, winners may have come and gone, but I will carry on, 'cause this dream will last forever. Yeah, this dream will never die. Do 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 do. Oh, it's Mewtwo? Oh wait, no, Mewtwo's old. Day 301. Okay, here. Let's just pick this. And then wait, why do people have Pokemon tag if they're playing like GTA RP? What the hell? Dude, I'll never understand Twitch. Here, this person's doing the cozy stream supposedly. I was gonna just like roll a number, but for whatever reason. Oh wait, I know what I can do. Where is there anyone in this? Oh, Bashi streaming. Hell yeah, I can raid Bashi. Lamouse. That's the easier answer. How did I not see that Bashi was streaming? Alright, folks. We're raiding Bashi again. He's doing Final Fantasy. We love Final Fantasy here. Do 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 do. Gotta make sure he is hydrating. You know, it's weird because this song is in my playlist, but I feel like I'm hearing it for the first time, and I absolutely love it, which explains why it's in my playlist to begin with. I really should make like a curated list of music just for like various moods and topics, just in case, you guys happen to enjoy my tastes, which I mean, maybe you do. But yeah, the plan is for Saturday. Again, no promises just because things took a really weird turn last weekend. So the plan is Saturday, and the plan is a Pokemon Kaizo. So if you like absolutely challenging ball busting content, that's Kaizo Ironmon. And I'll try to do something probably to keep track of the whole UI thing and all the stats. But until then, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day, however you decide to spend it. And hopefully I'll see you guys then. Toodaloo. It's going in 3, 2, 1.
Damn. The corner. All res are down. Riffs. Shrew got scuffed out the gate. Ooh, damn. Save file for my randomizer update somehow. So hours of progress gone. Oh.